Hi there, I'm Ekta Kaul and I'm a textile artist. I make maps that explore place, belonging, memories and identity through stitch. I'm hugely inspired by architecture and today I'm going to show you how to make an embroidered piece inspired by the architecture of Leighton House Museum. This is what we're going to make and I hope you enjoy it. So let's start. We're going to need a fabric, going to need some thread, going to need a needle threaded with 2 strands, or if you're using sewing thread you can just double that up, and a sharp pair of scissors, and really that's it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Now we're going to talk about how to transfer our drawing onto the fabric. So I am using a light table, so basically a source of light behind the drawing, and then placing fabric on top of it. And I'm going to turn the light on. It becomes visible to draw. You can simply go over these lines, but before we do that, let's just turn that light off so you can see clearly what I'm doing. Before we do that, we need to make sure that our drawing is not going to move about, and we want to tape the drawing down onto the light table. And then you want to place this over. You can pin the fabric onto your drawing, or you can also tape this up. The idea is that it should not shift. So now that our drawing has been transferred onto fabric and we've stretched it across the hoop, we're going to talk briefly about what stitches to use. So backstitch is great for using onto straight lines, and therefore I love it for using to embroider buildings. And if you see the finished sample, you can see that primarily we are going to use backstitch in this. I mean, there's a little bit of satin stitch that's been used to accentuate, and we can obviously fill other elements, but the primary structure of the building, we're going to use backstitch for that. So let's see how backstitch is done. So you want to have a little knot at the end, and take your needle to the reverse side, to the back of your work. Now take a stitch length forward and bring your needle up a short distance away, so almost like the length of the stitch you have made, and then pull through. Now insert your needle back into the same hole where your previous stitch finished, and then bring it up a stitch length distance away, and again pull through. So this gives you a continuous row of stitches, which is exactly what we want to define the outlines of our building. And so we can carry on finishing embroidering all of these elements. So we're going to fill these with satin stitch and work with 4 strands. So for satin stitch, you're making parallel stitches and filling up these small rectangles with straight stitches that lie next to each other and close enough that the base fabric doesn't show through. So I hope you enjoyed that. Here's our final piece. Stitch is such a beautifully slow process and it's incredibly contemplative. I hope you enjoy being immersed in it and taking inspiration from the beautiful architecture of Leighton House Museum. Not just its building, but also all the treasures that it holds. If you want to find out more about my work and the masterclasses that I teach, you can go to my website, which is www.ekta.kaul.com. I'd add a link in the notes. Again, a big thank you for spending time with me and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.